Aprilia launched the most anticipated model for the Indian market, the RS457, in December 2023 with an ex-showroom price tag of 4,10,000 rupees. But despite an attractive price tag, it received a lukewarm response from the Indian market, the biggest reasons being lack of awareness among the youth, lack of availability of dealerships in their nearest cities, and especially in the hot Indian climatic conditions, fully fed motorcycles heats up a lot. In order to tackle this very problem, Aprilia came up with this, the Tuono 457. Priced at Rs 3,95,000 ex-showroom, which is 15,000 cheaper than the RS457, with the same chassis, same engine, same electronics minus the fairing, along with comfortable sitting position. And more on this in a moment. Motoplex, the Aprilia dealership in Hyderabad, has conducted an official launch of the Tuono 457, but they did not provide any test rides. Sad, right? More on that in a moment. Haston Go-Karting Circuit was chosen as a home for this event, along with the opportunity for the existing RS457 owners to take their bike for a couple of laps for free on the racetrack. And they also had an option to rent an RS457 to ride on the track for about 12 to 15 laps for a price tag of 3,000 rupees. Yes, it's a lot of money for 12 minutes of riding on a track, but this is the time to remember the motorcycling hobby memes. Even started with unveil of Tuono 457, where I got an opportunity to talk to Dino Anna, who is a well-respected independent auto journalist from Hyderabad, and here's what he had to say about the Tuono 457, which he had an opportunity to ride at the official launch event in Bangalore a month ago.
Dinona, how is the new Tuono 457? How did you feel?
See, Tuono is a naked version of the RS.
Yeah.
I would say that people who prefer comfort, daily rideability, daily usability for office commutes and all, I think a Tuono would serve the purpose for those Aprilia fanboys out there who want to experience the legacy of Aprilia. 54 world titles is not a normal thing.
Yes.
So their domination in track and other racing competitions has culminated into making one of the finest machines.
Yes.
And so much so that even a MotoGP rider whom I met recently, Lorenzo Savadori.
Yeah, Lorenzo Savadori.
So he was seriously impressed with the 457 so much so that he wanted to have that as a training bike at his training academy.
Okay.
So that is, I mean, those words coming from the mouth of a pro racer at the level of MotoGP talks about the way they have built it.
Yes.
It's a very promising machine. I wouldn't say it is an all-rounder because it's a proper track-focused machine, committed machine for those who want to experience supersport culture at its very best, or who wants to start chasing the supersport dream. I think this is where it all begins. So the RS457 undeniably is one of the finest automobiles launched in the Indian market today.
Yes.
A Tuono is like a naked version, just more upright seating posture. People who are not used to committed seating posture, followed by a seating posture, I think the Tuono makes a little more sense.
One last question before we close this. So how do you think this compared with the Duke 390?
See, Duke is ultimate value now, especially if you see the new. I'm not the guy who minces his words.
Yes.
Because just because I'm here at the Aprilia launch doesn't mean that I have to sing praises about the bike. It's a brilliant bike, a very well engineered bike.
Yes.
It's a stiffer machine. It shines really bright on the track like what we have here. But when you look at the likes of 390, Duke 390, now the first difference is this is a parallel twin. So the cost difference is apparent.
1 lakh exactly, it's a 1 lakh rupees.
Yeah, that's a single cylinder. But when you look at the value KTM brings to the table, you have cruise control, up and down, quick shifter, you have switchable ABS, and ride-by-wire slipper clutch, and they've loaded with tech and that beautiful TFT cluster. Everything screams, innovation, radicalism, and domination in that space.
Yeah.
So undeniably, in terms of value, Duke makes more sense.
Yeah.
Low maintenance cost as well. And Aprilia are new to this thing. It'll take some time for them to localize the parts.
Yeah.
So if you are a hardcore super sport enthusiast who wants a no compromise machine and wants to be serious with your dream, the RS457.
Yes.
But if you want a good value for money, low maintenance cost, easy to ride, easy to maintain bike, the Duke 390.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dinona.
Yes.
There you have it from the man himself. You have the match.
తమ్ముడు తెలుగే కదా.
Teligana.
సో చాలా థ్యాంక్స్ మీ అందరి సపోర్ట్ వల్లనే అన్న ఈ రోజు నిలబడ్డాడు అండ్ మోర్ పవర్ టు యు.
Thank you very much, Anna.
While I would have loved to take the new 210 for a couple of laps on the racetrack, but sadly there were no test ride units available. But that's not gonna stop me from doing what I gonna do anyway, which is to go to the nearby showroom again and get a test ride and see for myself how does it perform. Which I did eventually. Went up to a showroom near me which is in Wakad, Pune, and got the test ride. But surprisingly, I was not allowed to record my experience by giving the reason that I was a quote-unquote amateur rider and a small content creator, which is quite shameful. Aprilia India has set this rule apparently, and what they are afraid of are the negative reviews or negative criticism from the small creators, which is quite funny. Such a big company is worried about negative reviews from these so-called small creators. And if any of my fellow small content creators from Pune are watching this, please don't waste your time by going there. And now back to the launch event. Another highlight at the event was with Revant, a fellow motovlogger from Hyderabad, has unveiled his all-new ride GSX 1000R. One more highlight at the event were the superbikes. They all got a chance to ride their mean machines on a track, but they were a little overkill for the size of this track. And next, my favorite part of the event, riding the RS457 on the track.
Back to the streets.
Similarities being the same engine, same riding modes, same fuel tank capacity, same seat height, and the same chassis. And when it comes to differences, first and foremost striking difference that one would notice is the headlight, which I am not a big fan of, while I have always loved the bikini fairing on the 210 660, the elder counterpart. The next biggest difference is the handlebar. This one gets a one-piece straight handlebar, unlike the clip-ons on RS457. With the raised handlebar position and a comfortable rider triangle, this position would be less taxing on the back when compared with the RS457, on which your wrists and your shoulders can experience pain after a certain time if you are not gripping the tank properly with the knees. And the next biggest difference is the fairing. Lack of a fairing will help in heat dissipation in much better way than on the RS457. The biggest competition for the 210 is going to be from the Duke 390 and the MT-03. While Duke 390 is priced at 2,95,000 rupees ex-showroom, which is a lakh cheaper than the 210, MT-03 is priced at 3,50,000 rupees, which is 55,000 rupees more than the 210 Each of these models have their own strengths and weaknesses, and it's up to the Indian buyer to decide which one to choose from. So let me know in the comment section which one would you prefer out of these three. That was an epic day, I would say. Like, I had so much fun riding the RS457 on the track. I have paid 3,000 rupees for 20 laps on the racetrack,
and if I didn't had any riding gears, they would provide me. But I had my own gears. I had my gloves, jacket, helmet, and the only thing I didn't had was I had my shoes as well. The only thing I didn't had were the knee guards. So they gave me those knee guards, and I was off to the racetrack. Man, I had so much fun. The first 2-3 laps were a little sketchy. It took some time for me to get used to, one, the racetrack environment, and two, the bike. It took that 3-4 laps, like 3 laps at least, I would say, for me to build that trust on those tires that they would not give up on me in the middle of a corner. Anna, mundu chudana. Mundu chudu. So first, the most important thing is that they did not make us sign any agreement of sorts before going onto the racetrack, that what would be the consequences, who would be responsible for what, if in case of a crash, who is going to be liable for the repair and all. Incidentally, being a racetrack, crashes are a common thing. Like 3 guys dropped the bikes. There were 2 bikes which they were giving for rental based racetrack thingy, which I did. 3 guys have dropped 2 of those bikes, and on one incident, the engine casing, the left side engine casing got broke. In the other incident, the gear shifter lever got damaged, and there were a couple of minor scratches on the fairing as well. One of the major damage that white RS457 suffered was, the fork got bent. I think like the alignment got disturbed, so that bike was kept aside for some time until that was repaired. So what I came to know is that, like, it was a woman who dropped that bike. They were asking her 15,700 rupees as bill for the repair works. They should have made us sign an agreement that at least, okay, if they were asking to pay her the money, but at least they should have made her sign a document that if anything goes wrong, you are the one who's gonna pay for it. But still, they did not have any agreement of sorts. But still, they were just asking, like, just calculated what would be the cost of those repair works, and they given us a number that 15,700 is what she would have to pay. I mean, like, seriously, man, they know that when you were taking a bike on a racetrack, it is going to be crashed. There is a high chance of fall, but still they did not have any mechanism to cover for the damage that would happen. Like, if they could have taken another 500 and took an insurance for that, for the bikes, if they were asking us 3,000 rupees, they could have taken another 500 and saying that, boss, if anything goes to the bike, we will take care of it. The 500 rupees that you're paying extra is for that. At least they could have done that. They did not even do that. That woman was quoted for a bill of 15,700, and this guy, I don't know, bike. It was getting late, so I had to start heading back towards to the home. So, like, yeah, next time, like, if anyone from Aprilia are watching this, come, like, please build in a mechanism with which you can cover for the insurance for this racetrack kind of events. We very much appreciate these events. I would love to attend another event if they do in the future, but the only problem is that in case of a fall, I don't want to break into my savings to pay for that. That would be very painful for anyone to do, for that matter. So that's one thing that I'm concerned. And rest of all, the event was good. The second thing which surprised me was that there was no 210 available for test ride, man. Like, come on, seriously, you guys have set up this beautiful arena and everything you have planned, but you didn't give the chance for potential buyers to come and experience the 210 for which the entire event was planned around. So, like, I don't understand what's the logic behind it for not giving a 210 for test rides in the racetrack, for test rides, so that if anyone is really interested in looking forward to get the bike, you can come here, take it for a spin. Like, the racetrack, it would be the best place to know the potential of a bike. Like, right now, I came to know about how RS457 would perform on a racetrack. So racetrack would have been a perfect testing ground for a potential buyer. Like, they would have had at least 10-15 bookings today by the potential customers. So it was a lost opportunity from the Aprilia side, unfortunately. It's up to them now. Seriously, Aprilia missed a chance to sell some good number of bikes just by these kind of events and giving the potential customers the bike to experience it. I genuinely thought that I would get a chance to ride the Tuono on the racetrack. Seriously, if they would have given me the Tuono, I would have been more than happy to ride it on the racetrack, because that would have made much more sense to the overall story that I am building. That is what I came to this entire event for, to ride the Tuono. But I don't know what they thought, but they didn't provide that bike. But nevertheless, it was an amazing day, amazing event. Kudos to Aprilia for organizing such an event. I would love to attend any such event in the future. Yeah, I think it would be a right time for me to stop the video, because so much to talk, and if I just keep talking, the length of the video is gonna go through the out of your phone and no one's gonna watch it. So if you want to ask anything about the event or the racetrack or Aprilia RS457 Tuono, yeah, anything you want to know, just comment down. If you had watched till here, please consider subscribing. That would help me a lot. We need those numbers for these brands to pay some respect to us. I don't want to take anyone's names right now, it is evident. So if you had watched till here, please hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell so that you don't miss any future uploads. And thank you for watching. I will catch you in another exciting review, I would say a review or an event cover. All right, thank you, bye.